The Honorable. Lappland catches up to Texas. After an explosion, each party is forced to make their decision. Texas. Salvador, Texas. What am I to think of you? Should I trust you? You are a Syracusan. They all say that violence and ambition runs in your veins, and that you and your family would devour this place. No. All of Colombia. Is the man I see before my eyes truly you? So refined, so upstanding. But I've also seen the way you throw a punch. The blood dripping between your fingers until your opponent is not able to utter even a single curse. Which is the real you, Salvador? Might there come a day when you realize that your two sides are as oil and water? Might there come a day when the trail of blood in your wake catches up to you? And when that day comes, what would you choose? When that day comes, would you remain by my side? A brilliant performance, Signorina. Without a doubt, you've surpassed my expectations yet again. Actually, it's all thanks to someone in the troupe called Mr. Ben. I would never have been able to adjust so quickly without his advice. Ben? I'm not sure we have anyone by that name at Teatro di Milano. Huh? He was really knowledgeable about the theater and gave me some extremely helpful pointers, so I figured he was an important person here. Sorry, no one comes to mind. That said, there are plenty of enthusiasts around the town who are very well versed in plays. Perhaps he was one of them. More importantly, I saw something on your resume that had me a bit curious. Would you mind clarifying something for me? Sure, ask away. You've been pursuing a pop idol career in Lungmen. We've been collaborating with that city more and more recently, but our acting industries have often been at odds with each other due to their different backgrounds. But even with that caveat in mind, the clips from your auditions sent over by Monster Sign Records convinced me that you have some musical talent. What this tells me, though, is that you have your sights set on a lot more than just Lungmen. What drives you to work so hard? Well, a lot of different reasons, I'd say. But at the start, I didn't have anything complicated in mind. There was just someone I hoped to catch up to. Oh? It's just like in the script. Every time she gazed through the window, or out the door, or across the empty street, her eyes made me feel like one day she would leave both us and Lungmen behind. And when that day comes, what would you choose? What's the hurry? Don't you think it's a miracle for the two of us to run into each other in Syracuse again? I'm busy right now. What a coincidence. So am I. Let me guess. Your job is to protect this man? What are you... Some people really need to learn to read the room. Don't you agree, Texas? Go protect the target. I'll deal with her. Understood. So, want some millefeuille? Man, I just looked this up and I already forgot how to pronounce it. Why am I like this? Give me a second.
Millefeuille.
Millefeuille? I'll forget that, don't worry. I'll take a piece. Now that's more like it. So, Texas. Now that we're in Syracuse, I should be calling you Selenia, right? I'd rather you didn't. Fine by me. Honestly, I find it easier that way too. Force of habit can sure be a scary thing, can't it? Living a leisurely life in Lungmen, occasionally bumping into each other at Rhodes Island, maybe even going on some missions together, makes me feel like my swords are gonna go rusty. This ever-familiar rain is what makes me feel alive. Swords rust in the rain. In Siracusa, the rain washes away the blood. Only people like you, who walk around town with their swords out, but no intention to use them, need to worry about rust. Why are you here? It's simple, really. Because you are. Hey, Texas. How long has it been since you were last in Siracusa? Probably about 10 years now. 7 years and 5 months. For more than 7 years, the prodigal daughter of family Texas has not set foot in Siracusa. I still remember how your grandfather sent you back here to serve as a hostage. You stayed with the family Saluzzo for a while. Those days didn't last, but we sure got along great, didn't we? If that's your idea of getting along, even though you're a Colombian, you managed to win the acknowledgement of all the Syracusa's families. Though, it was truly a shame what happened at the end. If you ask me, you ought to stay a while this time. Take a good look around. I'm going back as soon as I finish my work here. Oh? Going back, you say? Now that you mention it, there's something I've always been curious about, Texas. You betrayed the Texases and decided to become a lone wolf. You even abandoned everything the Texases left behind in Colombia. So why do you still go by the name Texas in Lungmen? That's none of your business, Lappland. I don't plan on staying in Siracusa. I will go back to Lungmen. There are people waiting for me there. Okay then. I'll help you. I don't need your help. Surely you don't think this is a fight you can take on all on your own? Didn't you find some buddies over in Lungmen? Didn't your time at Rhodes Island teach you that it's okay to rely on others? Syracuse is no place for tourists. If Rhodes Island ever plans to set up a branch office here, I would urge them to reconsider. But most of all, I can't trust you specifically. Ah, yes. Trust. Texas. You know my family name, right? Saluzzo. That's right. And we Saluzzos don't place our bets lightly. You don't need to trust me, but you do need our backing. Isn't that right? Or do you really intend to let the balloons drag you around by the leash? With a deafening boom, the sound of an explosion suddenly poured through the air from not too far away. The flash and flame effortlessly engulfed the government official by the name of Karasi? A car bomb? Oh, now that's a classic. Signor Ministro. The banquet venue is under attack. All nearby family associates, hurry and back us up. Damn it. Simultaneous attacks on two fronts? Now that's interesting. Who would have had the guts to pull that off, Texas? Show yourself. I knew it. What should I do if I want to go back to Lungmen? Ever since Texas took her first step back in this city, that question has always been on her mind. Going by her agreement, With Zaru, the easiest way would be to obey family Balloon's every command. But right now, Texas can already vaguely feel that the events unfolding in the city are not so simple. Talk. Who sent you? You don't need to know. But she is not worried. She understands Syracuse well and knows that there is no end to these things. She simply feels a twinge of emptiness. One that even she never expected to feel. Because no one will come to her aid in this fight. And after it's over, no one will ask her if she's hurt or drag her off to some party. For her, this emptiness has long since become second nature. So much so that even after leaving Lungmen for such a brief period of time, everything about that city already seems so distant and nostalgic. Out of my way. Don't stop me from going back home. But Texas, the more you want to go back, the more you'll have to cut your ties. It'll just make you sink deeper and deeper. What I want to know is, when you finally realize that you're completely covered in mud, what will you do then? Good to see you again, Your Honor. Oh, damn, Brown, you're here. Looks like I'm in luck. You washed your car just last week, didn't you? Nothing I can do about it. After all, it's my job to be hated. Don't worry. I'll get it nice and clean again for you. Why don't you take a look around while you wait? That's alright. I'll just wait here. Your Honor, I heard that judges have it pretty good. They drive fancy cars, show up on TV, and even the mayor has to be extra polite around them. After all, they represent Signora Cecilia's will. I reckon I don't see any other judges like you, Signorina Lavinia, who get paint thrown on their car every other day. You're probably right. I don't know about the fancy cars or TV appearances, but I could sure use a membership card to your store right about now. Sorry, our humble little shop doesn't offer VIP services. You look like you're in a better mood than before, though. Did that one family stop giving you trouble? Oh, thanks to you, Your Honor. I ran into them on the street yesterday, and they all steered clear of me. Never thought that there could be a judge as fair as you in Syracuse. Fair, huh? They're just scared of the people behind me. That's all. You say that, but even if you're backed by family Balone, you still dole out punishment to a family well connected with the Balones. In Syracuse, Signora Cecilia is justice herself. I don't know how many judges representing the interests of her old families actually bother upholding any real justice. But deep down in my heart, I know you're the embodiment of justice. That isn't actually a compliment. Oh, right. I almost forgot. You said earlier that you were having trouble sleeping. Did you go see a doctor? I did. The doc said I didn't have anything wrong with me physically. Just some mental stress. Oh? Is something troubling you? Troubling me? I wouldn't go that far. Honestly, this job is basically just a way for me to kill time. I'm not exactly rich, but I'm not desperate for cash either. I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing, Your Honor. I just don't know. How do you usually like to pass the time? It's me. What? Karasi was... I understand. I'll be right there. Sorry, Dan Brown. Let's chat some other time. As for your question just now, I'd recommend giving it the theater a shot. I often head down to watch an opera if I have the time to spare. Dan Brown exits the store. He watches as the judge he deeply respects drive off into the rain, quickly disappearing from sight. She's always so busy, he thinks to himself, drying his rain-bearded gloves on his overalls. Oh, rain-bearded? Bearded? What? But nothing she does will end up mattering, will it? Or rather, the fact that she still holds on to hope is precisely the reason why she'll be disappointed again and again. Things weren't this complicated in the good old days. He looks at the rain falling outside the store and suddenly remembers an afternoon many years ago. I hope it rains a little longer, so I won't have to sweep out the garbage in the morning. Get down! Damn. Thought you were a pampered little princeling. Turns out you're pretty tough to deal with. You know, slouches. Stand back, Rubio. I'm clearly the one they're after. I know. There's more of them over there, too. Out of my way. Slippery bastard. What? Isn't that Penguin Logistics? Get down. Okay. You dead, Gambino? Like I'd kick the bucket so easily. Never expected the real master to show up here. Cut the crap. The mission's botched. Let's split while we still can. I think I remember those two. Is everyone gone now? You alright? I think so. You're wounded. Don't move. It's easy to be lead out. I've already called for backup. They'll be here soon. I'll be fine. But how? How many people would have known about today's banquet? Are you suggesting... You're right. Such a large-scale, coordinated attack must have been planned for a while. But my identity is public knowledge at this point. It's not exactly hard to track me down. In any case... I'm glad you arrived in time. Karasi is dead. What did you say? What? You've got to be shitting me. Karasi is dead? A car bomb detonated right as he walked by. Karasi and the 3 bodyguards near him died instantly. Based on the wreckage at the scene, there was no point even taking him to the hospital. Sorry. The people who attacked us were without a doubt the same people who murdered Minister Karasi. What could their objective be? Why are you here? There's so many court cars here as well. You should have told me sooner that Balone invited her here. Selenia, Texas. As the first witness to the scene of Ministro Karasi's murder, you are also a suspect. Now, I'm here to detain you. Any resistance will be treated as flouting the laws of Syracuse and will be punished accordingly. Texas does not resist. She understands what she sees in the judge's eyes. Moreover, to all officials and associates of the families, Ministro Karasi's importance to Volsini is self-evident. The attacks carried out on each of you will be investigated as a part of the same investigation. I, Lavinia Falcone, swear upon my honor to find the identity of the murderer. This shall not go unpunished. You're not serious, are you? Of course I am. Alright. The string of events that just occurred makes Leon Tuzo feel a bit fatigued. And right as this thought crosses his mind, his entire world starts to spin. Leon! The rain continues to fall, with no signs of relenting. Given his current situation, Leon Tuzo decides to grit his teeth and wait things out. Texas is interrogated. Lappland receives a call from her father, but has plans of her own. Where am I? Oh, you're finally awake. This is home? Dimitri, why are you here? Lavinia brought you back. According to the doctor, you passed out due to a combination of your injuries and fatigue. Want an apple? Sure. I need be hungry, so I already prepared it for you. Where's Lavinia? She left after delivering you to the guards. You should know by now that she's always been reluctant to set foot inside this mansion. Her coming here for your sake is already a miracle in itself. Karasi's death is actually a bit of an issue, and news of your injury is sure to get out. In the eyes of the other families, the Ballones have, in a heartbeat, gone from the clear frontrunner to a total meth, both inside and out. Someone could show up at any moment to try and take a bite out of us. Did we keep any of the assailants alive long enough to get them to talk? Unfortunately, no. We couldn't find any leads on their bodies either. I expected as much. Any idea who could be behind this? The Saluzos have always kept the cards close to the chest, biding their time. For them, this is a prime opportunity. As for Rosaris, they're probably victims too, since Wallach was with me when they attacked. Still, Columbia's families have never been a monolith. True, there's always the possibility of infighting among them. Besides, there are even more possibilities. They sure find themselves a nice opening. Mind pouring me some water? You bastard. Barking out even more orders than usual when you're lying in bed. Did you really just pour me a cup of boiling water? Is it my fault your order wasn't specific enough? Alright. Fine, I know this is how you express your dissatisfaction with me. What is it this time? It's about the arrangement with Texas. I can't agree to it. Lavinia is a righteous person who would never frame an innocent. She has her own ideas. That's not what I meant. She was supposed to be your sword. When the boss handed her over to you, that came with the assurance that she would not endanger the family. You should have forged her into a razor-sharp blade. But now, she's behind bars under Lavinia's watch. You seriously can't tell that she's looking out for our family's interests. I'll admit, holding on to Texas after today would only make things more precarious for you. That her surname has appeared once more in Siracusa draws far too much attention. In that sense, you do have a point. From Lavinia's perspective, it's safer to have Texas in hand. But how is the rest of our family supposed to see this? They'll start to think that Leon Tuzo, the next dawn of the family below, has gotten addicted to playing house on top of the tablecloth. That you've gone soft. That not only do you not know how to swing a knife, you got it taken away from you. The Ballone's already lost advantage. No matter who comes looking for trouble, we need to fight back tooth and nail. Leon, Development of Volsini's new district is more than the humdrum business of Il Ministero dei Lavori Pubblici. It should be under Bologna control. So that's what you really wanted to say to me. I also have my own plans, Dimitri. Let's hear them then. Alright, fratello. You are my trusted advisor. When I got attacked, I already had the feeling that things weren't adding up. And after hearing about Karasi's death, that became even more clear. You just asked me who I suspected could be behind this. I don't actually think it's a Saluzzo or a Rosati. Why is that? The hitman knew me all too well. They knew exactly how to hit our family with speed and precision, while targeting me at the same time. So what you're saying is, I'm gonna lock myself indoors for the next few days. I need to recover from my wounds. If people think we're fumbling in disarray, then we'll let them think that. Until the true enemy shows their tail. If you let Lavinia take Texas... so you let Lavinia take Texas on purpose. That's right. As for how she wants to play in her hand, that's for her to decide. In the meantime, there will be no doubt be a slew of attacks on our family. Pay close attention to whoever's scheming behind the scenes. Understood. So, was that a good enough answer for you? Of course. Since you have a clear plan in mind, naturally, I hope you put it into action. You are, after all, the boss here. That's what I want to hear. Don't let me down, Dimitri. Hello, Wallach. It's me. Leon, I heard you were injured. How you doing? I'm fine. We need to talk about what happened earlier today. I'd imagine you probably have something to ask me too. About that name. Texas. Volsini prison. Damn, they let her keep her swords in prison? So, you were held up at the time. Who was holding you up? An old acquaintance. Awfully convenient for him to show up just then, don't you think? You're pretty used to being in this kind of situation, aren't you? Back in Lungmen, sometimes I'd let myself get interrogated like this. Lungmen, huh? Anyway, I'd have no reason to do anything like that. That's what they all say. To be honest, though, I don't think you could have been the perpetrator, Selenia. I can't imagine it would have done you any good. Also, Leon contacted me beforehand and gave me a few reasons why I should trust you. So that's why you showed up at a venue where so many important figures were present. It was originally prepared as a stage for you by family Bologna. However, given the current circumstances, our best option is for me to keep you here. You're protecting Leon Tuzo. I'm protecting you as well, Texas. Also, this may divert the attention of the other families. They will be speculating what Bologna's next move will be after getting hit like this. And those suspicions might loosen some of the fetters around my ankles. Are you really a judge? Why would you ask that? You seem to know a lot about how the families operate. I am, in fact, a judge. But to be good at this job in Syracuse, you need to know how the mafiosi keep themselves alive, even better than they do. Even if I'd rather not know. You misunderstood me. It's not all that surprising that a law enforcement official would know a thing or two about the people you're enforcing it on. But what I meant was that judges like you didn't exist back in the old Syracuse. Don't get the wrong idea, Selenia, Texas. I didn't bring you here because of the so-called checks and balances among the families. Outsiders may interpret my stance as such, but I couldn't care less. You just arrived in the city, and you still don't understand how important Ministro Karasi really was. He was an outstanding person. Could have made the new city under construction, something far better. It wasn't just another project to expand his business either. He wanted to make it possible for the citizens to enjoy a new way of life. But he's dead now, and I will find his murderer and bring them to justice. They think they can dispose of the people who refuse to bend a knee, one after another, as if they were puppets. But I will make them realize that they are not tossing away a broken doll. They are murdering, living, flesh and blood people. So, Karasi's death had nothing to do with you. Right. And you didn't find out who the murderer was. Pretty much. And the task I gave you, to investigate exactly why Balone decided to bring back Texas. No leads there either. You never miss a beat, my dear father. And despite having accomplished nothing at all, you didn't even bother showing up when I called to convene a meeting. The traffic is pretty bad this time of year. Lappland, when I kicked you out of the house 7 years ago, you lost your right to call yourself a Saluso. Do you understand what that means? Of course I do. It means you won't show any mercy when you decide to dispose of a disobedient tool like me. You've always been so self-aware, yet never have the slightest inclination to act accordingly. Do you really need me to personally deliver a little warning to the poor little judgy? Why would I feel a need to warn her? Not a princeling pup is hiding behind closed doors. Everybody's gonna think the sharp-tongued little judgy is a balloon puppet. And with your personality, you aren't inclined to believe that the balloons are as weak as they present. So wouldn't it be common sense to use the judge's well-being to test the waters? Seeing how you understand what to do, I want to see results. Why, naturally. I'd never disobey your orders. Assuming our interests align, that is. My dearest father. Salvatore, what are we to do now? Am I to thank you for freeing me from the clutches of my own blood relative? Am I to thank you for spilling blood so that the infected workers may have full stomachs? The man you killed was my father. No, I do not need a list of his crimes. I should think I know them better than you. The scars on our bodies are proof of his cruelty. The deaths of those laborers were proof of his exploitation. But still, despite it all, Salvatore, I truly thank you from the bottom of my heart for saving me and so many others. But the stench of blood lingering about you grows stronger and stronger. Let us be away from this place, Salvatore. Just the two of us. Take me somewhere we will at last be able to find peace. Alright? It might already be too late. Salvatore. It might already have been too late. The day you first set foot in Colombia. From when you first sharpened your blade. You say this was all destined? That it couldn't have been avoided? I can't help but think, if I were in Vivienne's place, would I be able to forgive Salvatore? Even if what he did could be forgiven, the grudge would follow the both of them the rest of their lives. Exactly right, Signorina. Huh? That the two of them were able to get together in the end is, of course, artistic license. In fact, the real Salvadora did not elope with Vivienne. Also, despite the fact that Vivienne's father was indeed as callous as he was wealthy, he took good care of his family, particularly Vivienne, whom he doted on like a diamond in the palm of his hand. Oh. Very rarely is someone pure evil, don't you think? Therefore, even if the perpetrator was someone you loved dearly, even if you were aware of your father's despicable acts, something like what he did is not so easily forgiving. Signorina Vivienne ultimately chose to leave him and move to a new city, where she met someone who truly loved her. Thus began a new life. But until her last breath, she never forgot the man named Salvatore. So in a sense, this story can be seen as vicariously helping her dream come true. Did you know Miss Vivienne well? I suppose you could say that. My name is Katerina. You're quite the lovely actress. Are you new here? I swing by frequently, but I've never seen your face before. I am. My name is Sora. I came from Lungmen. Lungmen? How fascinating. I've heard of many actors who went to Lungmen to develop their careers, but rarely the other way around. Sometimes there's value in bucking the trend. Too true. So, Miss Katerina, do you know what happened to the actual Miss Vivienne? Vivienne, huh? She never forgot Salvatore. Maybe that's why her son chose a similar path. He became a wise guy and gradually rose to become the dawn of a certain family. A family that would eventually go on to clash against Salvatore himself. Fortunately, Vivienne came forward and prevented the two rivals from becoming mortal enemies. And eventually, they even became allies. Wait, are you talking about the Rosati family from the script? That's right. Have you already read through the entire thing? Yes, I also wanted to learn as much as I could about the Texas family's history. For some personal reasons. So what did you think of the story? There's a few bits I can't make sense of. Oh? For example, Salvadore's granddaughter. Sora, the stylist wants you to take a look at the design of your costume. Okay, I'll be right there. Sorry, but I have to go. I don't mind. We'll have another chance to talk. Sora! Take your time. We can always chat at our leisure some other day. Okay, that's great. Salvadore's granddaughter. You're wasting time at the theater again, boss. How many times do I have to tell you, Wallach? It's not a waste of time. You push most of your work onto me just so you can go write a shitty play? Is that what the boss of a family should be doing? And you even gave yourself a pseudonym? Do you have a problem with that? Of course not. You're none other than Giovanna Rosati, a beloved Donna. I know you're dissatisfied with me, but is there really anything in this city worth worrying over? Before, no. Now, yes. Karasi is dead. Oh? But Karasi was originally just an ordinary man, elevated by the families to keep each other in check. All his death proves that Balloon was not capable of. Nothing more. And someone greatly resembling Selenia appeared at Leontuzo's side. Say that again? Texas. Selenia, Texas. Well, look. I don't recall you being the sort of man who liked to crack jokes. And you should know that I hate people who joke about Texas more than anything else. So you can tell I'm not joking. I have no idea how Balone managed to find her, but she had those unmistakable eyes and hair, exactly like the one in your photo. She didn't die, and she's with Leon Tuzel now. She would never have survived the liquidation if not for a certain family protecting her. The logical conclusion is that the Balone saved her back then. Looks like we're going to need to have a little chat. Giovanna, this is clearly a trap. Balak. My apologies, boss. It's not so much a trap as an entire conspiracy. Think bigger. If they really were the ones who saved her back then, what good does it do me to drop by and express my gratitude? Make preparations. Business decisions are over. I'm paying Volsini a visit. Understood. I'll make the arrangements. Alas, it seems that the new script will have to go on the back burner for a while. Boss, I'm sure you're aware that Karasi's death presents an excellent opportunity for us. But you still seem hung up on the Texas name. If this keeps up, the Rosaris won't have a future. A mutiny, perhaps?